Tuesday, August 30th. Okay, let's see what has happened today in the markets here. We're looking at the U.S. total markets, ETF symbol TMW. And here we go. And here's today's action here that we could see. We did get a higher high up in this range. And if we scan below, you could see we are RSI. We are on the overbought area, so that is to be now just to be very cautious now. We have very limited upside that could come in. We already have the first day here. We may have a second day higher, or it could do a pullback here. Okay, looking at the MACD, the trend is still up, and the histogram bars, the little green ones here, are still green, which is very good, and we are above the zero line, which is the center line going over here. Okay, so these are all very good here. We do have to keep in mind that we are under the 100 moving average and the 50 moving average. Those are pointing downward. However, on the short term, on the 8-day moving average, we are above it, which is good for the short term. We can expect maybe a pullback down to right here, $88 in this area, and then get a bounce to continue up higher. Okay, that's a possibility. If we break down, then we can retest these lows again. But for now, especially based on the MACD, we are above the zero line, so at least for the short term, we are still a little mini bullish and may possibly head up into this area here, knock our heads on the 50-day moving average, the green line. Okay, pretty much all the markets are similar as far as chart patterns. So let's take a quick look. Here we're looking at the Dow, and you can see we actually have a spinning top up here, and RSI on the overbought, and the MACD pointing up. Now let's look at the S&P 500. Also another spinning top, so it's pausing up here. We can get a pullback down here in the next couple of days, and hopefully we can get a small pop on Friday, closing positive for the week. RSI is up in this area here, and the MACD. Let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ leading the way, which is good. That's what we'd like to see. And actually it is up higher, so the NASDAQ may be heading into this upper resistance area ahead soon. But again, we can probably see a pause day where it would trade down a little bit for the next couple of days, because we are in the overbought area. MACD still looking good here. And now let's look at the international. And as far as with the global, it's pretty flat here. You've seen got two flat bars here for the global. Didn't reach as high on the RSI, and look like it's already pulling back a little bit. MACD though is above the zero line, so that is good. So it can trade a little bit sideways before breaking out, or it could come down, pull back down to this area, and if it breaks down, continue further down. But based on this here, it can probably go up. But again, let's keep our swing trades at half positions. Okay, so that means whatever capital you have to trade with, use only 5% at the most per each trade. This way, if you lose 10% on it, you're actually losing 0.5% of the whole capital. Gives you a chance to make mistakes during these turbulent times and still be in the game when the trend continues to resume. So this is how we play it safe. Okay, now let's look at some of our watch list and the stocks that we're in. And we're gonna look at EGO here, as you can see, and we are still above our entry price right here, the green line. RSI still heading up, and the MACD is still upward here. Okay, again, we could see probably as high as 22.30ish, around in here at the most for now, but we'll have to see. If we put a trend line in, you can see it goes that way. It can pull all the way back here and still be within our without triggering our exit. Okay, so that's just something to keep an eye. Looks like gold and silver may be trading up a little higher in the next few days, so this will take advantage of it. Let's look at JSZZ, and as you can see, this is where we entered back here in the state, and we broke out to the upside here. Let's see if we could continue with the movement a little higher, or it may pause. We are in the oversold area. MACD is kind of going a little bit parabolic. We normally like a 45-degree angle increase, so we get this kind. Usually when we get these parabolics like so here, and we get a quick pullback, another parabolic up in this area, strong pullback. So here we got another strong one here. We can get a pullback. Actually, pretty good chance I will get out of the swing trade, so I recommend, if you have it, if you don't want to get out entirely, take half and put a break-even stop. Okay, let's look at the next one, PRGO, and we entered here in this area, and we are above in this area, making new highs for the last 3 months, which is very good. We can see how the RSI went above, oversold, pulled back, or we got this pullback, and now it's resuming back up. This is where we took advantage and entered, and that's where this went in. And the RSI, and the MACD is a pretty good angle. We're still in the green here. Okay, so far so good. Next one is RAH, and this one here triggered us in on this date here, and we're still above it, so it's a little bit of gains. Trading sideways here, so this one, if we're trading flat here, may do another breakout. If it consolidates, give it a chance to digest this gain here, so we'll have to wait and see. We are still above the zero line on the MACD, which is good. And next one here, TRH, and this one's based on kind of a deep pullback strategy, and I recommended entering if it breaks above this, and it actually gapped up, and it's still above here, trading sideways here, and RSI kind of pulled back based on today's action. MACD pretty close to the zero line here, so it's kind of getting a little neutral. Okay, so the exit on this one here, if I recall, it would be, I believe, down right in here. Just give it a little bit of wiggle room and put it right down in this area. So if we're wrong, pull back. If I remember, yes. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swing trades in action right now. No losers, so that is good. So let's look at some of the ideas here. The newest idea for today will be actually an ultra short ETF, and this is the ultra short crude oil, based on a deep pullback strategy. So it's down in this area here. Suggest consider getting in at 56 even, or actually add a couple cents above it, and put your X at 50.20. So let's see where that would be. 50.20 would be approximately down. Here's 40, 30. Well, that's close enough. for eyeball. Okay, we're going to go down in this area here. Okay, and that's roughly about 10.4%, a little bit over our normal 10% tolerance, but crude oil is pretty volatile, so normally you would get a 10-15% on this. So again, small positions. Okay, possibility we can get up to is here or here, so those are our targets up here. And RSI oversold and MACD pullback. So we may, just like the rubber band effect, it's overstretched down in this area, and we might get a snap up for a swing trade. Okay, let's look at yesterday's recommendation. We recommended this one here, and because of the divergence here, we did get the pull up, and we got triggered in here. So it's pretty flat here as far as price. So we'll see how that works. And here's our exit down here. And let me scan through what else, if there was anything else recommended. Okay, let's look at some of the ones that have been recommended before. Silver, recommended getting in if it breaks above here, and no, still continues. So keep your entry point right up here. We're trading, so we may get a pop-up if the gold and silver continues. So keep an eye on that. And PVA, or excuse me, PVA, yes. Let me fix something here. That is not correct, huh? So it's PVA. So we're going to change that to PVA. Apologize. Okay, so recommendation, if it breaks above that, it just touched it. So depending how tight you did the closeness of it, you may be in it or may not be out of it, but still potential. Here's your exit right there. And MFN, this one here, now a little bit either break even or just slightly over, so we're still in that one if you decide to go with that one. MasterCard, so just getting into here, right on this date, triggered in. Now we're up higher, which is good. RSI approaching, so if it goes a little higher, consider getting out. LULU, this one here, triggered in here based on the recommendation. You should be right up here. Now at this point here, I would suggest closing the position and getting out. Keep your profits, or at least sell half of them and put a break-even stop. So for now, we'll consider this one more day, and if it pulls back, then we'll just go ahead and take this off the list here. Let's see, HUM. This one's been doing pretty good as well. Triggered in here, had a couple days. Now we're right up against this area here. Consider to get out, sell, and lock in your profits on that one. HLF. This one here, entered, triggered, get in. Now we're hitting against up in this range here. For those that are ultra conservative, consider getting out, or just ride and see if we can get a breakout of this here next few days. We may be going back to touch this, but if it breaks below this 8-day black dotted line, the moving average, then just get out. And that is pretty much it for the trades. We getting a whole bunch. I do expect maybe by next week we'll be exiting a lot of these trades, and let's see what kind of percentage of winners we get here. Normally, based on these trade strategies, we get an 80% winning rate ratio, but since this is a bear market, it may be a little tougher, maybe down to 60%. So that's still not bad. 6 winners with 4 losers. So as long as we keep disciplined and stay to our exit strategies, we should be able to ride this through, and we'll be picking up some inverse ETFs so we could make some money on the way down as well. Alright, until next time, take care and see you around.